Hey everybody, it's Maxie Love. Since my last hygiene type video, plus size hygiene video, did pretty good. Do things that most girls or women don't know they should do before sex. And this stuff varies. A lot of people, they have good diets, they know these things, or they don't have to really do these things. You know, this varies, but if you're having problems like vagina smells, vagina like looseness, vagina dryness, you might want to take these tips and use them. So if you're having a lot of vagina smells, you probably need to go see your doctor, but whatever. But if you're having a lot of vagina dryness, you need to drink water. At least drink 8 glasses of water. I try to drink half a gallon or a gallon. That is my aim to do. Along with like vagina, like I guess dryness, you want like the taste of your vagina, I would say drink pure juices. You want to taste good. Somebody going down there, you don't want to only smell good, you want to taste good. So I would suggest you drinking cranberry juice, pure cranberry juice. I mean like the bitter one, the one that's like $5 to $10. I'm not talking about no ocean sprays, 100% cranberry juice, because it has sugar in it. It's not pure cranberry juice. Along with cranberry juice, pineapple juice is really good. But like if you eat pineapple, which is my second tip thing, like eat pineapple, eat yogurt. Yogurt has a lot of probiotics in it, which is great for your vagina. Along with eating stuff, I would say you are what you eat. So I would suggest eating a lot of berries, eating pineapple, eating yogurt, and not eating garlic, onions, a lot of red meat, and probably seafood. I've heard if you eat certain stuff, you're gonna smell like it. So I love red meat. Steak is my favorite food, y'all, and I love seafood, but I've never had a problem with actually like smelling like what I ate. And I like garlic too. But if you're having these problems, if you know you're like, if you're a person, you eat garlic, right, and you smell like garlic, right, and you know, oh, I probably should not eat garlic, you probably shouldn't eat seafood, and you probably shouldn't eat onions, and you probably shouldn't eat red meat if you already know you have that problem. So another thing you should do before sex is, if you have like planned sex, like, you know, like date night is this night, or he's coming over this night or whatever, or I'm going over there that night, you do your Kegels. It bugs me that when I was in 10th grade, and a lot of girls didn't know what that was, and I've been knowing what Kegels were since I was like 7, and not because I was sexually active or anything, it's just because my mom taught me, you know, that's how you keep a tight vagina. I would suggest Googling it. I probably will put some information about like Kegel exercises like in the description if you don't know what it is. But if you have a vagina, even before you're having sex, you should do them. And it's basically moving your vaginal muscles. Like if you go to the bathroom and pee and you're like releasing, and it's like, you can kind of do it when you're peeing. Like you can pee, stop, pee, stop, pee, stop. And that's the way you kind of like know that's kind of how you do it. You can sit and do them at work. You can sit there and do them in the car. You can sit there and do them while you're watching a movie, and it doesn't hurt to do them. And this will kind of like bump up your sex game. They also have like Kegel balls and weights that you can use that are actually like pretty good if you have like just had a baby. I wasn't pushing my son out. It might sound shallow, but I didn't want to go through that whole like tearing situation. I didn't want to go through like if my vagina was going to bounce back like it used to. I had a C-section and I requested one just because of that purpose. So when you're having sex, your body is going to automatically lubricate, and it should kind of like open up. So think about if your muscles are already just like, if you don't use your muscles, then they're not gonna work. That's what any muscle in your body. And your vagina, the actual vagina is muscles. It's made up of muscles, and you want to be able to use them. Fun thing to do, maybe when you're having sex, kind of do your Kegels on your partner. See if you work like that. Just try to keep your vagina like tight, as well as smelling good and tasting good. Like, all my other steps are like, oh, you should probably do this, but this is optional. If you're a clean person and you know how to wash your butt the right way, and when you open up your butt, like, I don't use enemas for the reason of like my butt smell, like the fuck, like, no bitch, I just wash my ass, like, period. But if I know the guy that I'm with likes to put his finger in my butt, or if I know I just ate a big meal prior to, like, you know, going over there, or him coming over or whatever, I would use an enema. Anal sex, I would use an enema. I'm probably gonna put a picture up. They're very cheap. Like I said, if you're doing anal, if you're doing stuff like that, you should repeat those steps. But the enemas that you buy at the store, they're not for like anal play at all. It's really like a medicine, like if you're constipated. And definitely if you're constipated before you have sex, you should use enema. But those are for like I said, it's like laxative in a sense, to make you go when you're constipated. So that fluid I wouldn't use. I would not. If you watch how to have anal sex, things you should do before anal sex on YouTube, don't use the liquid in those little enemas. You pour all that out and use pure water. Another thing that you should do, or try, I would say try it, because it really does work. Lime on the skin to secure yourself. If you're a sweater, I have very big thighs and I have a big butt and I have a fupa. So along with certain situations, if it's hot outside, bitch, your vagina's gonna sweat. And if you have a sweaty vagina, I would try using lime on the skin before you take a shower. 5 to 10 minutes before you before you get in the shower. Cut the lime in half, use the lime juice. Do not get it inside the hole, but you can definitely get it on all the lips, the inner and outer labia. You can put it on your butt, you can put it in your underarms, and let that sit. It is gonna feel cold and it's gonna get like very sticky. But trust me, when you get out of the shower after using whatever you use to clean your vagina with, that's unscented or made for the vagina, and if you don't have a yeast infection and you know you're okay smelling down there, you're not gonna smell like anything, like period, like at all day, like for at least 8 hours. Like, you're not going to sweat at all. A thing that nobody told me when I was growing up was to completely dry off. Like, I used to like be rushing to school and just get in the shower, dry off a little bit, or just slip my clothes on, like. And I used to be like, why am I musky? Like, I put on deodorant. Like, my skin wasn't completely dry. And the same thing with the vagina. You want to make sure your vagina is completely dried off, your butt is completely dried off. Like, use a clean towel that smells good. You don't want to, and you want to use a dry towel. You want to I actually get out the shower, I wrap my vagina and I wrap my butt. I like have the towel like in between both of my crevices. I lay on the bed and actually like dry my butt and my vagina off, and my underarms. Like, I don't play about that, because that makes a whole of a lot damn difference. Like, that would make, if you're not a sweater, you will smell like sweat if you keep that water on your underarms, your butt, your vagina, anywhere, your inner thighs, like anywhere that it's not supposed to have moisture from water. This is one you should do after you have sex. you should pee after you have sex, right? And most people know that because that's something like, you know, your doctor might tell you, your mama might tell you, your homegirl might tell you, you might look at a video on YouTube, they might have told you that. But if you are having sex and a guy nuts in you, he comes in you, he has did a cream pie in you, whatever you want to call it, they say you are not supposed to douche. I don't douche. I don't even know how to pronounce it, bitch. Whatever. But they say you're not supposed to do that, right? This is the only time I would suggest doing that. Period. Because semen will throw off your pH balance so fast, so quick. The first thing that I do after having sex, I run to the bathroom with a bottle of water and I shoot it up in me. I pour that water out. You can see all that in there. Pour it out. Rinse the bottle out. Do it again at least 3 times. Because this is not something like that. This is a foreign substance at this point. You know, like it can be there. You know what I'm saying? But to me, it makes you smell. It's not something that you can just wipe away with the baby wipe, because this is actually like in the actual vagina hole. Like this is in the actual vagina. It's going to be dripping out. You can't just put on a pad or panty shield and expect your vagina to smell like it naturally would, because at this point you got something foreign in it. To me, I've never had like a yeast infection or like vaginal dryness after doing this. Like, cum shots are no freaking joke, okay? And that's the end of my freaking video. Take this advice, don't take the advice. I feel like everything I pretty much said was you know, a good little tip. Try the things out and, you know, comment and tell me if it worked, you know.